Game begin.
Well, hello fellow perpetrators. Today we're going to do a gun boxing on this new Primary Arms micro Prism. Just like all the other sights in this line, except this one has the Gemini 9mm reticle on it, which on its own, pretty interesting, pretty neat. These aren't quite out yet, and as you probably imagine, of course, the reason I'm doing this is we're actually doing a set of reviews for ARFCOM. Probably going to work several different Primary Arms optics into one video, and the purpose of this video here on the chopping block is to get some good B-roll showing y'all what's inside this box, and also to get your input and kind of crowdsource your opinions and questions and whatnot. So let's pop her open and see what comes in the box. We got some destruction manuals, as is their custom. One of the destruction manuals will detail the reticle. Do this all mirror imagey. One of the destruction manuals details what's in the reticle, what each aiming point is for, and the other one will tell you how the sight works in general. And of course, the destruction manuals are available as PDFs on the Primary Arms website anyway, so if one of these pages isn't perfectly legible to you, don't fret, my child. A cleaning cloth and some thread locker. Here is the star of the show, which will survive a short drop, at least. I've beat the crap out of a lot of different Primary Arms sights and haven't managed to break one yet. This is going to be pretty much the same as several of the others, but with a different reticle. The brightness goes all the way up to 13, and as I'm sitting out here in my bright sunlit Arizona backyard, I would concur that this is indeed daylight bright. The reticle, you won't be able to see that well through the lens of this camera, as it were, because I'd have to get it lined up just right and get it focused in and all that. But it's good and bright. Pops. That chevron is nice and precise. The important part is how it accounts for bullet drop on pistol rounds. What I think is kind of interesting about this is I texted Dimitri with Primary Arms and asked him how this reticle would line up for best millimeter. And Dimitri says to me, well, the 9mm reticle ought to line up with 180 grain 10mm at 1400 feet per second pretty well, provided you zero 1 inch high at 50 yards. Otherwise, the other points on this reticle should be dead on. So that got me thinking, the perfect home for this thing is going to be this TNW Aero survival pistol. I'm gonna hit it with just a touch of lock schmutz to keep the bolts wet from moving. Gonna hand tighten this down just a little bit to get it in to where, just to get it to where it don't fall off the rail. Then these rail slots are super tight. The slots on this TNW are actually, I think, a little bit tighter than proper 1913 spec. But that's it. There we go. I think this is ideal sight for this particular little gun here, because You can get out a little bit further than you would otherwise. The things to point out about this are it's a 1 power that is no magnification Prism sight with an etched reticle. It has illumination, auto off, and shake awake. So for a little home defense gun, which just sits there in the corner for a while and never really gets touched unless it's needed, you can set it and forget it. The battery will last pretty near indefinitely with the auto off feature. So it turns off automatically, and then as soon as you pick it up, the reticle turns itself back on or whatever brightness setting you had it on. Okay, so that's about it. This is a 1X Prism sight with an etched reticle with 9mm bullet drop compensation, which of course will line up for some other calibers. The full video is, as always, going to be on the AR15.com YouTube channel, so stay tuned there, and please do your best to post some insightful questions in the comments down below this video, and I'll do my best to make sure that I address those in the full review on ARFCOM. I love you.